Hey, what's going on? This is me again, KJ, and this is the Art of Sound show. Absolutely. Again, we at it again. We do these every Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I want you guys to tune in. Make sure that you are visiting my channel, my YouTube channel, youtube.com/KSound, and that's how you really will see the events as they pop up. I usually try to make an event for each of these events, but sometimes the time gets away from me, so I'm not able to do that. But these sessions, these live streams are definitely archived, so you know you definitely have access to it. Once I'm done or whatever, and you can view it over and over and over and over. All right. So today's topic is making a R&B track. And if you guys know, R&B or music in the whole, music in its entirety has shifted many ways, many times, and R&B is no longer R&B, if you know what I mean. R&B, you know, when you specify, well, I'll say R&B for the most part. Um, well, most genres, you have to specify the era, the specific time, the decade. You know what I mean? You got to be specific. Okay, R&B, R&B in the '90s, or you know what I mean? What type of R&B are we talking about? Are we talking soulful R&B, or are we talking we talking pop R&B? And then you got to be descriptive when speaking of the years. Talking about 2014 R&B, because R&B is just isn't R&B anymore. So R&B stands for rhythm and blues, but the type of things we are doing to R&B nowadays, I think it should go up on its own category. It shouldn't be rhythm and blues anymore, because today's R&B, you can't hear the blues in it anymore. You know what I mean? Although blues is like it's like the capital, music capital, where everything kind of falls up under it. Um, yeah, but anyway, I chose to go in this vein. I've started something, 8 bars, 8 bars worth something. Just I just created a Rode synth. It was not really a Rode, but more so a pad synth, and I didn't put any drums, anything like that. I wanted you guys to, you know, come along with me as I pick out and select the drums. So I'm putting my headphones so I can hear what I'm doing. And the program that I'm using for this specific song is Logic Pro X. Love Logic Pro X. As you can see, my baby right here machine. Um, Depending on where we go, I might pull it up, but I'm going to go for more so a. Well, let me show you this first. Let me show you what I got. So okay, so I went from a D into an F, and then B flat, and then what's that? G. Yeah. So D, F, B flat, G. That's the bass line for the song. So the song is in the key of D. Um, but I'm not going to go for a bass just yet. I'm hearing more so some drums. So I'm gonna pull up a new track, and the kit that I would start using. Actually, pull up the audio track. I pulled up an audio track, but I need to put up an instrument track. That's what I was saying. Okay, so we'll pull up battery 4. And so this pad synth that I'm using is actually Logic's synth. It's an ES1. Sound great. It sound great to the point to me, to the point where I saved it as a preset, so I can always find it. Sometimes we get so excited about new plugins and new sounds that different companies are dropping, and it's like I just decided I wanted to just kind of stay within Logic, and I found the ES1 and never really played. I played with it one time. I said, you know what, let me go in and see exactly what sounds is coming out of this thing, and it's pretty cool. Some pretty cool sounds coming out of it, I must say. So I'm just gonna select on any random kit inside of battery 4. Let's see how that sounds. Okay, I know that was kind of crappy, but I'm locking in on the grid quantization. So we gotta fix that. So if you guys don't know, if you're working inside of Logic, my quick tool to navigate between all of the plugins, say you got all of the plugins or one plugin, whatever, I can get rid of all of them with one key, and that's by hitting V. I hit V to go in and out. Let me show you. Let's show you guys that. You said, K, I don't believe you. I don't believe what you're saying. Not a problem. Not a problem. Let me switch my screen. And I use this tool quite often. So here's V. All right. So I got my battery 4, and I had a compressor up, and this is the ES1 right here. This is where the pad synth coming from, and I'm just gonna hit V. Bam, bam, bam. You understand? V is that key. All right. V is the key that you want to click when, say like you got a bunch of stuff up and you're doing some tweaking or whatever, and you don't want to quite X out of every single thing because you know what I mean, you are in the middle of something, but you need to edit this one note, and it's like, man, I don't want to X out because I got everything positioned. Just hit V. That's all. So going to edit the drums because something is fishy right here. I think I want to move all of that over and Let's zoom in a little bit just so we can get more of an accurate. Yeah. It was just maybe, what was this, 3 notes that were off somehow. Cool. So we edit that. I likes that. But what I'm going to do now, here is something pretty cool. Now, what I have done in the past, I have always pulled up another instrument on another channel. So my sessions was always huge. I will always, you know, for a kick, snare, hi-hat, tom, whatever. Everything had its own specific channel. So when I mix, I can pan things differently or whatever. In this case, I am doing several things in the same kit on the same channel, right? So I got my kick and I got the conga sound on here, the conga, bongo. I think it was a mixture of both. And yeah, but the cool thing about Battery 4 is it gives you the ability to manipulate each sound in terms of volume and panning. And you also have the full parameters, what you see in front of you, the compression, the reverb, the delays, the pitch adjusting, um, all the controls, all the filters in here for each sound inside of your specific kit, right? Which is pretty cool. So because I'm a person, I'm the type of person that likes to mix on the fly. So oftentimes I may, while I'm mixing, I'm panning. You know what I mean? I'm adjusting the volume. I'm kind of like painting a picture as I go. I'm saying what I want it to sound like as I go along. I'm not putting everything down the middle. You know what I mean? And then come back and mix it. You know, I mix on the fly, and that's how a lot of people say, hey man, those joints sound great, like. And I think that's just something that helps me. As I mentioned in all my other videos, I like to hear what it will, you know what I mean? Like I just have to, everything has to be, where it's supposed to be, even while I produce or compose, whatever I'm composing. So um I guess it just really depends on what I'm doing and how fast I'm working. I may leave everything inside of this one channel and just mix inside a battery, and then that frees up channels or whatever, slowing down it. Or if I choose to just, you know, print everything out and everything has its own specific sound, what I would do is actually I would print it. I would, and inside of Logic Pro, there's a way to um, print it out on the fly. You can bounce it right there on the fly. Just right click on the region and go to bounce in place. So you can actually, and I do this quite often, but I use a quick key is Control B, and I'll bounce in place whatever I'm doing. So several things that I may do is if I'm doing it this way, if I'm just several things going on in the same channel, because I kind of want to keep that idea in my head. I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like once you break up everything on each channel, it's like sometimes you will lose it. But while you got, this is a nice kit, you know what I mean? And while I'm right there, I want to, man, get everything like I need to, and then I'll break it down later if I choose to. And if I break it down, all I would do is go inside of the actual region and select the sounds that I don't want on that channel, or when I get ready to bounce in place. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. I'll select all of the channels and just mute them and allow just that one sound to play throughout the entire region or whatever. And then, what the bounce in place would do, it would create another track and put the audio file underneath that. Okay. So, and then I'll do the same and take another sound and blah, blah, blah. I hope you guys follow me. But that's one way that you can do it. But at this moment, I'll just keep it there and just kind of mix inside of battery 4. So this sound right here, I'm thinking it's probably a little too loud for me. So I'm gonna go back to the main menu and kind of turn that down. Actually, turn it back up. Kind of pan that off to pan that off a little bit to the right. Hope you guys can hear that. Now the way that I'm streaming, the way I got everything set up, you can actually put some headphones on and hear what I'm doing. So everything should be coming through quite crispy. So you can hear what I'm doing when I pan and get the full quality. So whoa, I missed that one. Something is off. I don't know how I missed that one. A kick. The kick is just coming in too early. All right. So I'm gonna go back to the. I'm gonna go back to this ES1 and actually make some adjustments because I'm not really excited about how it sounds. Just the cues on it. So I guess that would be more so my intro, and what I did was copy and paste both these two to bar 9 to 16. So the first 8 bars was intro, and I guess 9 through 16 will be the verse, starting the verse at least. Okay. I think I'm just gonna duplicate it. So what happened was I actually liked it better when I was more laid back. So I'm gonna delete the others. Okay, so I just added a hi-hat, and I'm going to. I'm hearing the bass now. The bass should come in now. Not really sure what I want to use, but everybody got bass, so it just depends on what. Again, this is Logic Pro plugins. It comes with Logic Pro X. These are their newest sounds. Okay, let's see what this sounds like. Just going through. I apologize, guys, if it's taking me a long time to figure out the sound I want to use, but I never went through these. This is a little bit punchy. Okay, let's see how that sounds. Let's put that in. Make a little EQ. The low end on it. Just a tad bit. So more like just added a few dB in the 20 and 50 hertz. You know, not much. There's actually a specific snare sound or metal snare, whatever, something I went through the other day. I would prefer to use that over what I was using just now. You know, the little Congo bongo sound. If I could find that, I would probably rather use that. But if I can't find it, I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay. I think I like that more better. The other one was a little bit more harsh. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So basically, I switched up the drum kit, and I got snare and bass drum going on right here. Okay, so right here, that's my snare and that's my kick, right? So this is what I was saying before. Say I'm going to do the kick first, right? So I'm going to mute that, which is hitting M, the M key mutes whatever. I can mute a note here, or I can mute a region, the entire region, by hitting M. See, and it just grays out. It does the same thing as if you mute it from the channel itself. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is bounce in place, and I can label it kick new track. I'm going to leave this. Sometimes I delete. I had it selected for delete because I don't want the sound to be duplicated or whatever. But in this case, I'm gonna leave it because I want to come back and get the snare, which is down. Well, it's right here. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it. So that's a kick. And I tend to have these buttons down here on include audio tail and file, include audio tail and region. I have these clicked on. Sometimes I turn it off depending on what I'm doing, but most of the times these are clicked in. I never really bother that, but sometimes I do. It just depends on what I'm doing. But at the moment, it's clicked on, and the reason for that is if I have any like anything ringing after the attack, if you know what I mean. So I got my bass coming in, but it might be still ringing. So right here, the cutoff right here, as you can see at the end of each region, it might kind of leak over. And this is really good for stuff like synths and things with reverbs on it, because what you want to do is you don't want to cut it off. You don't want to chop it off at the end because it's gonna sound chopped. You want it to kind of just ring out, you know. So that's what I do there. That's how that's been done. I want to see if this will actually, yeah. See, this is what it did. Right here at 17, if you can see up at the top, right here, 17, everything is pretty much chopped right there. But when you're working with MIDI, MIDI will ring out. So technically, if you see what this is doing, this is what it's doing actually. MIDI, it's got a reverb on it and things going on. So this is the tail end after 17. So it leaps into 17. But all I would do, when moving forward, I'll just copy this and just move it at 17, and then kind of overlaps it or whatever. And then I have mine where it creates a crossfade. I don't want to do that, so what I'm gonna do is take the other region and kind of move it back some, just so it won't do that. And there's another trick that I that I use. I've discovered. Okay, let me break this down. And I use this really more so in editing MIDI notes in the piano roll section down here. But I find, okay, so say I'm back here and I want everything to line up on the grid. I find that when I hit shift, it takes it all the way to the end, and it locks it in with no problem. So, the way that I did this, the tail of this was kind of stubborn. So I had to use the shift key to kind of, bring that in. Now, here's the other problem. When you do this, you will experience a clip or some type of static, yeah, a clip, like a little clip or click sound, like a little staticky sound. I don't know if you guys heard that, but it was real quick. So you could do one or two things. You can actually put a fade on that. You can do that. Or you can do a crossfade. But at this point, I will grab my crossfade tool and do like this. I don't too much care for the crossfade tool when because I don't need it. So I'll just do that. All right. I'll just do it like that. Yeah. A crossfade tool is pretty much gluing both regions together to avoid the clicking sound. And um, I use it a lot on drums, on acoustic drums. What that does, like if you were editing drums, like live drums, you you will experience a lot of clip sounds or whatever, or click sounds, and you will hear it in the record. A bunch of, like, a little, white noise, quick white noise sound. And the way around that is crossfade. So you put a crossfade not too wide, because then it'll kind of go into, um, you know, if you see what I'm doing, it kind of goes like that. So, like, the sound at the beginning of your edit going into the next section, and the end of your last edit, it will clash if your crossfade is too long. If you understand what I'm saying. That's a whole nother video right there. How to crossfade properly. All right. Well, anyway, I'm gonna delete that kick right there, because what I'm gonna do is actually, okay, let's put that fade back down on the end. All right, so we're gonna go and grab the snare this time, boys and girls. Yes. Okay. Now we had the snare muted. Now we're gonna unmute the snare and mute the kick. And we're going to proceed with the same technique. Call it the snare. At this point, I could have set the parameters to delete this, because I don't need it anymore. And this is one way that I feel that you can back up off the CPU, because you're not using a kick, which sometimes has other plugins and other things. It's not working hard, so you're just only streaming wave files. Okay. Again, I love the custom mode for my navigation, because it shows me my hard drive and my CPU usage. I keep an eye on those as I produce. So let's go back. It's going in the red down there. And that's something else that I also take advantage of or pay attention to. I actually want to do something else with the snare. The snare's too bright, so I want to kind of make it fit everything else. Okay, you can do whatever you want to do. The EQ is definitely a technique used in mixing or whatever, but you can also use your EQs to create a new sound, do something totally different. It just depends on how you want to do it. Obviously, I wouldn't leave it hanging like that. I would probably put some compression on it just to make it hit a little hard. Again, using Logic Pro X stock plugins at the moment. Only thing I'm using outside of Logic is Battery 4, which is a Native Instruments. And it's like you gotta use Native Instruments stuff. This right here is what I don't want to do. I'll make it more red. And the reason why I like using this compressor is because it's 2-in-1. It's a compressor and it's a limiter. So a lot of times I'll utilize the limiter over here. I'll just bring it down to maybe negative 0.5 dB, just to avoid the channel from clipping. But it won't avoid the master channel from clipping. So what I would have to do is get out all of those, like I said, by hitting V. X is to toggle between the mixer and the arrangement. Okay. So, like I say, this is the master channel, and I hate, see this right here, it's in the red by 1.2 dB plus 1.2. So what I would do, I'll bring everything down. Bring everything down. All right. Now, a lot of people didn't like what I just did. Producing, feeling your music, and it's like, man, it's got to bang. Okay. When you want it to bang, do not, under no circumstances, turn up the master output or the master gain. Do not, I don't touch these at all. I really don't. I don't put my hands on these right here. I just don't. Just leave it right there. I don't touch it at all. Period. It's just right there. What I would do is turn up my headphone jack instead. Okay. Turn up your headphone jack. I'm trying to get out of my screen. But yeah, turn up your headphone jack on your interface, or turn up the master gain on your interface, because your interface does not affect the mix inside your DAW. Your headphone gain knob volume does not affect the volume inside of the DAW. Okay. Only when you start playing around with the output master faders inside the DAW will it affect what you're doing. Bring down everything. Okay. I've gotten several sessions where the fader, I mean, it's not like it matters much, because after you send it to me, I'm going to fix it anyway. But for those of you out there and you producing music and you doing things, bring them down. Bring them down, bring all the faders down, just so in your output meters you're staying below 0. You understand what I'm saying? When you need it to hit hard, that's the point where you start adding compression and limiters to hit hard, or just turn up your headphones, because before you give it to the guy that's going to mix it, you definitely don't want that going on, hitting hard inside the session. You want to give the mixer, room to do what he needs to do. I mean, he gonna do what he got to do, but for some of you that don't have the luxury of sending your stuff to a mixer, you know what I mean, then this is the way to go. Bring everything down and boost your signal up just by using compression. Your compression shouldn't be so hard where it's squishing everything. I've heard projects like that too. That's terrible. The whole thing when using compressor is to make it work for you. and avoid it sounding squish, because that's what a compressor is. Compression. A compressor compresses, pretty much. You know, the whole idea behind a compressor is to not make it sound like it's compressed. Sound crazy, right? You got a compressor inside your system, but you telling me not to make it sound like it's compressed? Absolutely. Absolutely. The compressor is just designed to give you that closeness. It glues everything together and it kind of spreads everything across the board. You know what I'm saying? It kind of helps everything kind of, mend them out. You know what I mean? Sound a little bit more together, and you know, it brings everything together, whatever. But don't make it sound compressed. That's the key. That's the key. So that's all the time I have today. I want to say thank you guys for watching. You always have supported me. You've been supporting me from day one, and I'm gonna keep doing these because I see you guys still watching. And stay tuned for next week. Hope you guys got some questions. Do I know what the topic is? Absolutely not. I do not know. I have no idea. But I hope you guys learned something. All right. I'm out.